Hey, I, the Big Bad Wolf, have another interesting read-along review for y'all, and it's a rather unique one as well. You may remember last month, well actually a few weeks ago, I reviewed the Star Wars book and audio read-along here on YouTube to celebrate the original film's 40th anniversary. Well, as I said with that one, Disney Vista Records began doing a whole line of read-alongs based off popular non-Disney movies under their Buena Vista Read-Along Adventures line. Today, we're going to look at another title in that series. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Today marks the 35th anniversary of the release of the Steven Spielberg classic, so I thought I'd mark it this way. Yeah, even though the movie is released by Universal Pictures, Disney Vista distributed a read-along here. Also, a unique thing about this particular title is the use of some of the actual cast members. As you can see by the cover, Drew Barrymore reprises the role of Gertie from the film, who narrates the story from the first-person point of view. It also has Henry Thomas reprise the role of Elliot, and Robert McNaughton as Michael. And it also uses John Williams' original music score, and Steven Spielberg was also involved with the production of this read-along. Also, uniquely for release in the Buena Vista Read-Along Adventures line, look at this. Yep, the record actually has the Disneyland label. Usually these read-alongs on record use the Buena Vista Records label, or Star Wars label for those titles. But enough of this yakking. Let's see the pictures, hear the story, and read the book.
Hi, I'm Gertie, and I'm going to tell you the story of E.T. You can read along with me in your book.
Listen how young she was back then.
You'll know it's time to turn the page when you hear the chimes ring like this.
Yep, a familiar chime sound, too.
Let's begin now. I couldn't tell you about E.T. before. Elliot said it had to be a secret. Because it was probably the most important thing that ever happened. I couldn't even tell Mom. But it's not a secret anymore. So Elliot says it's okay if I tell you now. It was almost Halloween.
Ooh, I love that time of year.
Trying to find out what everybody was dressing up like. I wanted to go as a cowgirl, but nobody was listening to me because they think I'm just a kid. Elliot was telling Mom about something weird he saw in the backyard the night before. A goblin or something. And Micah was teasing him.
Maybe it was an iguana.
Well, it was real, I swear.
Maybe an elf or a leprechaun.
It was nothing like that. Nobody believed Elliot. It was kind of nice to see him getting teased instead of me for a change. The next day when I got home from nursery school, I heard Elliot and Michael were there.
She's real young there.
I rushed into Elliot's room to show him my art project.
Yeah, nursery school is just another term for preschool.
Look, it looked like a giant mushroom with eyes. I screamed. And then the goblin screamed.
Oh.
That made Michael jump back and knock over the bookshelf. Then I screamed some more. I'm a good screamer. Elliot almost had a fit. He slammed the door so Mom wouldn't hear us. Michael threw his hand over my mouth and dragged me into the closet. The hysterical goblin ran in after, screaming all the way. Then Elliot ran in and slammed the door. Now I had time to look at the goblin calmly. He was smaller than me, but had long fingers and a squashy body and big, buggy eyes. It looked like this big turtle without a shell. I mean, grossed me out. Elliot could see I was still real scared. He won't hurt you, Gertie. I'm keeping him. Is he a boy or a girl? He's a boy. But look, you can't tell. Not even Mom. Why not? Because, grown-ups can't see him. Only little kids can see him. Give me a break.
That's what they think
I
at
may
first.
be little, but I'm not stupid. Elliot seemed to know what the goblin was thinking. He said it was sad and alone. And anyway, in the closet with all our stuffed animals, he didn't look so scary anymore. So I promised to keep it a secret.
Is she gonna whisper secret every time?
Elliot could tell that the goblin was hungry. So that night, we sneaked some food upstairs and watched it eat. He used his funny long fingers to pick up the food. Ugh, I wrinkled my nose. If he a pig, he sure eats like one. I also brought the goblin a geranium flower in a pot. It made him happy. I guess it made the flower happy too, because it bloomed right in front of our eyes. Elliot showed the goblin a map of Earth.
Actually, it's a globe.
Where are you from?
Maps are flat. Globes are round.
And 5 clay balls flew up in the air and
Ooh.
spun around like planets and suns.
Nice.
Then he pointed out the window at the stars far away. That's when we knew he was a man from outer space.
Oh, yes.
Michael said a man from outer space was called a extraterrestrial. But Elliot just called him ET. I like that better. It's easier to say.
Yeah. Or a
One day,
kid.
I came home from school and found E.T. all by himself. He was watching one of my favorite cartoon shows.
Actually, he was watching Sesame Street on PBS. Like that.
I said, B, B, B. Then E.T. opened his mouth. It's a B. Good.
Good.
This was great. Now I have somebody my own size to play with. So I taught him more words. I took E.T. up to my room for a dress-up tea party. I put a wig on him. And you know, he didn't look so ugly. I put a dress and some jewelry on him. And now he looked kind of cute. But when Elliot came home and saw E.T. all dressed up, he wasn't happy at all.
I bet.
Oh, you should give him his dignity. But then E.T. surprised him. Elliot. What? I smiled. I taught him how to talk now. He can talk now. Elliot was excited. E.T., can you say that? Can you say E.T.? E.T. E.T.
Aww. Pretty neat so far, huh? It's a decent condensed adaptation of the film. Of course, being a Disney character, I don't know it very much, but at least it's different from most of those other sci-fi alien movies where the aliens are hostile and there aren't any kids around most of the time. I suppose that's one reason why this movie is so popular, as it was family appropriate and involved a friendly alien befriending the children. And this predates our own Lilo and Stitch by 20 years. Anyway, let's play the other side of the record.
E.T. led Elliot over to the window and pointed towards the stars again. Oh, E.T. phone home.
Oh, the famous line.
You could tell E.T. was homesick.
Oh.
E.T. phone home, and they'll
Come home.
Aw.
So we had to help E.T. build a communicator so he could call people to tell them to come and take him home. Elliot and Michael got all kinds of weird things, like an old record player and a blender.
Not like the
and
new
an
record
umbrella.
player I'm using here.
I gave him the most important thing, my electronic spelling game.
Nice.
That's how I help. I helped to get out on Halloween night. Elliot and Michael dressed E.T. up in a ghost sheet. Everybody thought E.T. was me. Then E.T. out of the house past Mom. Then Elliot drove E.T. up to the woods on his bike and helped them set up his communicator. When Elliot didn't come home that night, Mom was really
Darn
good.
motorcycles out
I
there.
had to tell her where he was, but I had promised to keep it a secret.
Oh, now she doesn't
Elliot
whisper.
finally showed up the next morning. He looked so tired and so sick. You know why? Because E.T. was lost. Everything
Oh.
was going rotten, and it scared me so much.
Ready?
Michael finally found E.T. in the woods and sneaked him back in the house. E.T. didn't look well at all.
Ooh.
Michael and I were real worried, so we decided it was time to tell Mom. She walked into the bathroom and saw Elliot sitting on the floor next to E.T.
We're sick. I think we're dying.
Oh.
Mom didn't know what E.T. was, so I told her. Man from the moon! E.T. reached out his arms.
Mom.
That's when Mom freaked out. She grabbed Elliot, Michael, and me and rushed downstairs to get away from E.T.
Whoa.
Suddenly, people in spacesuits bursted into our house. They came in through the doors, the windows, everywhere.
Yikes.
There were scientists, and they were looking for E.T.
Someone must have snitched.
When the scientists found E.T., he was extra sick.
Ooh.
They tried very, very hard to make him better. They put a big bag over the whole house and brought in a lot of machines, but it didn't help. Elliot pleaded with E.T.
E.T. Stay with me,
Aw.
please. I'll be right here.
Aw.
It was too late. The scientists wrapped up E.T.'s body to take it to their lab.
Ooh.
I started to cry, and so did Mom.
Oh.
Elliot stared at E.T. so long.
I'll believe in you all my life. Every day. E.T. I love you.
Aw.
As Elliot started to leave, E.T. opened his big eyes.
E.T. phone home.
Ha
E.T. phone home. E.T. phone
That's a happy moment.
Elliot and Michael sneaked E.T. out of the house.
Yeah.
Police and scientists chased him all over the neighborhood.
Ooh.
And just when the police had them trapped, E.T. made all the bikes fly right over the cars and houses.
Oh, yeah.
I knew where they were going. E.T.'s people were coming for him, and it was about time.
Yeah, and they used that
Mom
for
made
the
it to
for
place
the
where
Emblem
the
Entertainment
boys
logo
finished
too. When they fly in front of the moon.
Deep in the woods, we found this huge round spaceship covered with lights.
Ooh.
And we all said goodbye to E.T. I gave him the geranium as a going away present.
Aw.
I just wanted to say goodbye. I kissed him on his funny round nose. E.T. smiled.
good.
Hmm.
E.T. waddled up the ramp into his spaceship. He was holding my geranium. Then the door closed and the spaceship blasted off. toy home.
Hmm.
Every time I look at the stars at night, I think of ET. I hope he comes back someday.
It'd be nice if E.T. came back, provided they make a sequel, but everyone would have to, but the kids would be all grown up by now. And that's it. These Disney Vista read-along adventures generally did a decent job condensing the film's story, as you already saw with the Star Wars read-along. Regarding that franchise, I'll probably be reviewing the Empire Strikes Back read-along adaptation in the year 2020, when the film reaches its 40th anniversary. But stay tuned here because I have, get this, another read-along review coming up tomorrow.